Edward Norton's career presents a Hollywood paradox. An actor with 3 Oscar nominations, a Golden Globe win, and films etched into the cultural canon. Yet his highest-grossing film, The Grand Budapest Hotel, earned $174 million, a figure many modern franchises surpass in a single weekend. He is a titan of prestige, operating in a system engineered for profit. This is not a story of failure, but of a deliberate and financially revealing choice. How does an actor earn more awards than blockbuster returns? The answer lies in the economics of the films he chooses. That choice becomes clear when we map the specific terrain of his career, a portfolio built not on explosive tentpoles, but on a distinct and calculated model. The Norton Portfolio strategy. That choice becomes clear when we map the specific terrain of his career. Edward Norton has spent decades curating a filmography that prioritizes artistic integrity and creative collaboration over maximizing box office returns, establishing him as the ultimate prestige brand in an industry increasingly dominated by franchises. His strategy is defined by 2 distinct lanes. The first, and most defining, is the auteur-driven ensemble film. Beginning with Moonrise Kingdom in 2012, Norton became a recurring figure in the films of Wes Anderson, a director synonymous with a specific, meticulous, and commercially limited aesthetic. Working in these ensembles, which include critically adored films like The Grand Budapest Hotel and Birdman, often meant accepting salaries far below his market rate. For Moonrise Kingdom, he worked for a Screen Actors Guild minimum of about $4,200. This is the purest expression of his trade-off, sacrificing upfront blockbuster-level compensation for the prestige and creative satisfaction of working within a revered artistic vision. The second lane is the mid-budget, adult-oriented drama or thriller. Films like Primal Fear, The Illusionist, or Motherless Brooklyn, which he also wrote and directed. These projects typically operate with budgets in the $25 million to $50 million range, a tier that has become increasingly endangered in Hollywood as studios chase billion-dollar franchises or ultra-low-budget horror. These films are engineered for respectable returns and awards attention, not global domination. While he made a brief foray into the blockbuster system with 2008's The Incredible Hulk, a film with a budget exceeding $150 million, where he reportedly earned a salary in the low 7-figure range, this proved an outlier. His departure from the Marvel Cinematic Universe over creative differences underscores a fundamental misalignment with the franchise-first model. Norton's portfolio is a deliberate hedge against that very system, a collection of work where cultural impact and critical esteem are the primary currencies. This deliberate portfolio strategy has specific and revealing financial consequences. To understand why prestige does not equal profit, we must break down the hard math of each tier. The money breakdown. To decode the financial logic of an Edward Norton filmography, we must move beyond grosses and examine the underlying economic models. His career is not a single financial strategy, but a portfolio built across 3 distinct budget tiers, each with its own risk profile, audience, and measure of success. Tier 1. The low to mid-budget auteur play. This tier represents the core of Norton's prestige engine. Films like The Illusionist, $16.5 million budget, and Wes Anderson's Moonrise Kingdom, $16 million budget, operate here. The financial model is one of contained risk and high potential return on investment. A budget under $20 million allows for creative freedom without requiring blockbuster returns. The target audience is older, more affluent, and less driven by opening weekend spectacle. Success is measured in longevity and awards attention. The Illusionist's global gross of $87.8 million represented a phenomenal return, while Moonrise Kingdom's $68.8 million was a solid hit. Crucially, for Norton, these films often involve significant financial sacrifice. He has stated that working with Anderson is a money-losing proposition, having earned only Screen Actors Guild minimum rates, about $4,200 for Moonrise Kingdom. The currency here is not upfront salary, but creative satisfaction and critical capital. Tier 2. The mid-range commercial anchor. This tier, encompassing films like Primal Fear or The Grand Budapest Hotel, budget $25 million, occupies a space that has become increasingly rare in modern Hollywood. Budgets typically range from $25 million to $60 million, aiming for both quality and commercial appeal for a broad adult audience. The Grand Budapest Hotel is the paradigm of success in this tier. With a $25 million budget, it grossed $174.6 million worldwide and won 4 Academy Awards. It delivered prestige and profit. However, this tier is economically precarious. It demands strong execution and marketing to connect with its target demographic. A film that only doubles its budget can be seen as an underperformance, making studios wary. Norton's consistent presence in these projects underscores his value as a draw for that discerning, adult audience, but it ties his commercial success to a financially endangered species of film. Tier 3. The tentpole exception. Norton's foray into the blockbuster system is an outlier, represented by 2008's The Incredible Hulk. With a budget between $137.5 and $150 million, this film operates on an entirely different economic calculus. The model requires global saturation, massive marketing spend, often equal to the production budget, and revenue that justifies the scale. While the film grossed $265.6 million worldwide, this placed it at the lower end of Marvel's spectrum. In the tentpole economy, a film needs to earn roughly 2.5 times its production budget just to break even, given marketing costs and theater shares. By that metric, The Incredible Hulk's profitability was marginal. Furthermore, its audience was the broad, franchise-driven demographic, a departure from Norton's typical fare. His reported salary was in the low 7 figures, a fraction of what top Marvel stars would later command, and his experience, clashing over creative control, highlighted the fundamental mismatch between his auteur-adjacent approach and the franchise factory model. This project proved that while he could physically inhabit a blockbuster, its financial and creative systems were alien to his portfolio strategy. When we layer these tiers together, a clear financial portrait emerges. The high-profit margin successes, The Illusionist, The Grand Budapest Hotel, subsidize the artistic investments that may break even or operate at a loss for him personally. The sole tentpole was a commercial experiment that yielded limited financial upside for the studio and no creative future for the actor. Norton's career is a masterclass in selective risk. He avoids the catastrophic failure potential of a $200 million flop by rarely playing in that arena. Instead, he cultivates a steady stream of mid-range projects where his name adds value, his risk is manageable, and the reward, while capped below franchise levels, is a sustainable mix of profit and prestige. The system rewards him not with legendary box office tallies, but with enduring relevance in the one tier where artistic ambition and financial viability still occasionally intersect. This 3-tiered portfolio didn't happen by accident. It was the direct result of a series of deliberate, career-defining choices that traded one kind of power for another. The decision point. Edward Norton's distinct financial profile is not an accident of the market. It is the direct outcome of a series of deliberate, strategic choices that represent a clear fork in the Hollywood career path. He consistently chose the road marked creative authority, systematically avoiding the wider, more lucrative highway of franchise compliance. This fundamental choice presented itself early. Following his Oscar-nominated debut in Primal Fear, Norton had the industry's attention and the leverage to shape his future. He could have pursued the archetypal leading man roles in mainstream action or romance vehicles. Instead, his subsequent choices, the stylized period drama of The People vs. Larry Flynt, the avant-garde satire of Fight Club, signaled a preference for complex material and collaboration with distinctive directors. He was building a brand of intellectual seriousness, not broad commercial appeal. The most revealing test of this principle was his engagement with the burgeoning franchise system. His casting in 2008's The Incredible Hulk appeared on paper to be a concession to commercial scale. However, reports from the production indicated Norton approached it with his standard auteur-minded methodology, heavily involved in scripting and post-production with a vision for a more character-driven film. When this vision clashed with Marvel Studios' mandate for a product that fit seamlessly into a larger, tightly controlled universe, the conflict was inevitable. Marvel's subsequent decision to recast the role with Mark Ruffalo, an actor renowned for collaborative ensemble work, was a systemic correction. For Norton, the Marvel machine represented the antithesis of the creative partnership he valued. His exit was less a firing and more a mutual recognition of misaligned incentives. He retreated not into obscurity, but into the ecosystem where his values were assets, the world of auteur cinema. In Anderson's meticulously crafted worlds, Norton found a creative hierarchy he respected and a partnership where his input was valued within a singular directorial vision. The financial sacrifice was the cost of admission to this creative space. The business logic of this choice is stark. By opting out of the franchise economy, Norton capped his absolute earning potential. He exchanged the chance at $20 million paydays and global fame for sustained creative fulfillment and a different kind of industry capital: respect. This choice structurally limited him to the mid-budget and indie tiers, where profitability, while possible, is modest and never exponential. He became a premium component in specialized projects rather than the marquee engine of global tentpoles. In Hollywood's terms, he chose to be a respected partner in a boutique firm over being a high-profile executive in a multinational corporation. Norton's choice to exit the franchise track had immediate and long-lasting consequences, not just for his own career, but for how the industry as a whole came to view and employ him. Industry consequences. Edward Norton's deliberate career choices prompted the Hollywood system to systematically reclassify him from a potential tentpole star to a specialized asset. His market value was no longer measured by opening weekend grosses or eight-figure salaries, but by his ability to lend prestige and critical credibility to a specific type of film. The industry's consequence was to assign him a narrower, more defined lane. Casting Norton became a clear signal to financiers, critics, and audiences that a project was a serious, director-driven endeavor aimed at discerning adults. This guaranteed a baseline of artistic attention for mid-budget dramas and auteur ensembles. However, it simultaneously closed the door on offers for roles requiring a pure, mass-market commercial engine, as definitively punctuated by his departure from the Marvel Cinematic Universe after The Incredible Hulk. This reclassification, in turn, forced Norton to build an entirely new form of leverage. He expanded his creative role into writing, directing, and producing, most notably with Motherless Brooklyn, to gain control. More critically, he achieved profound financial independence through shrewd investments in the tech sector. This outside wealth became his ultimate power, freeing him to accept minimal pay for passion projects without economic pressure. Far from being marginalized, the industry's recalibration ultimately incentivized Norton to construct a parallel, self-sustaining ecosystem perfectly aligned with his personal definition of success: creative integrity over pure profit. The verdict. Edward Norton's career is a deliberate exercise in a distinct Hollywood calculus, one that trades blockbuster profits for prestige, creative control, and enduring cultural relevance. From the peak of his early Oscar-nominated leverage, he consistently chose auteur collaborations and mid-budget films over franchise tentpoles, operating in the increasingly endangered economic middle ground of cinema. This choice came with a direct cost, a ceiling on his commercial impact. While films like The Grand Budapest Hotel delivered phenomenal returns on their modest budgets, their absolute profits pale next to billion-dollar franchise hauls. His career demonstrates that in an industry now split between mega-budget IP and micro-budget horror, prestige has a financial limit. However, Norton's strategy transcends mere acting income. His focus on creative control extended to building significant financial independence outside Hollywood through savvy investments. This estimated $300 million fortune liberated him from economic necessity, allowing him to freely choose artistically fulfilling projects for minimal pay. Ultimately, Norton consciously stepped off the blockbuster assembly line. He redefined success on his own terms, winning not by the metrics of opening weekend grosses, but by achieving sustained artistic integrity and building a parallel ecosystem of wealth and creative freedom. His career is the definitive map of the prestige pathway in a bifurcated industry. For a deeper breakdown of this same system, watch this next.